He has taken the leap. It is clear after just one game of Summer League, even when the jump shot was off, that Gradey Dick has taken his game to the next level already. So we'll discuss that, including other players in this Toronto Raptors Summer League squad, what our takeaways could be from one game of action, because there's clearly some nice pieces. This is our first look at some of these Raptors guys in this Toronto Raptors system. So I'm excited with a lot of the pieces that the Toronto Raptors have in this dominant win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So we're going to break down all of that in this video. But before we do, folks, again, if you're part of the 49% that hasn't hit the subscribe button just yet, and you want to stay up to date with all this Toronto Raptors news, make sure you hit that sub button so you don't miss a single thing with this Toronto Raptors team during the off season. But we have a lot of stuff to dive into, and as the title sort of indicates, this is we got to start off with Gradey Dick and his performance out here in the Summer League, and just from the eye test what we've seen, because Gradey Dick had a solid rookie season last year, no doubts about it. 9 points per game, 2.2 rebounds, 1.1 assists, shot 37% from the 3-point line, was effective around the court, and that's a guy that was projected to be, a player coming in as a 3-point specialist. He did a lot of the little things really well. He hustled well. He did get blown by occasionally on the defensive end, but really put effort in on that end of the floor. He shot 46% on corner threes. And for a 20-year-old, right, that is a very, very nice start to an NBA career. But obviously, there were things a part of his game that just had to be worked on, had to be improved upon. But Gradey Dick last night against the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Summer League action looked really good. And again, we know he's a 3-point specialist, and the 3-point jump shot wasn't even falling to an elite level, but and again, we can look at the stats, right? Went 0 of 4 from behind the 3-point line, but did everything else that you would ask for a former lottery pick playing in the Summer League action, out there for this Raptors team. 18 points, had 10 rebounds, was hustling on the offensive boards too, was out there, grinding on both ends, getting into the paint, doing things. He was also looked a lot more comfortable driving the basketball, and this is something that surprised me a little bit last season. It wasn't, on another level in terms of his slashing ability for the Raptors last season, but it was something that was capable in this game. Last night, he looked very, very confident, driving the lane with the ball in his hands, attacking some defenders, and even if he didn't finish every shot at the basket, I thought he did a really good job of controlling his body and at least making the right takes, making things look good. And I don't know visibly, there's a ton of muscle mass put on, but he looks stronger in the sense of body control, in terms of getting knocked off his spots. He just really looked like a man amongst boys, which is what you'd hope for a second-year player playing in this Summer League with a lot of young groups for a lottery pick. Very, very positive stuff there, but 18 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, had 4 turnovers, which you're going to get when you have the ball in your hands. You're trying out different things in Summer League action, but defensively, again, this is something that when you're pegged as, a 3-point specialist coming to the NBA, defense not being your calling card, it's something people kind of write off. And yes, Gradey Dick is not a point of attack, elite Drew Holiday-esque defender, but he puts in effort. He has nice size, for that shooting guard, small forward position, his long arms. And I thought in this game today really proved that he is putting in a lot of work on that defensive end. The energy and effort's paying off. And I thought he did a really good job just clamping on that end of the floor, bringing the energy again. Did get blown by a couple times, but was really, really happy with what I saw from Gradey Dick in last night's performance. And man, Gradey Dick is going to be a piece that is crucial for this Toronto Raptors team in terms of development. We just let Gary Trent Jr. walk. We're not sure where he's going to go. I saw a tweet pop up. See, that's a Gary tweet. It wasn't. But Gary Trent Jr., he's gone. We still have a lot of shooting guards. And Ochai Agbaji, whenever he's with the Raptors, ends up playing the power forward position. He did tonight as well. But RJ Barrett's there. We have Jakob Poeltl, who we'll discuss in this video, right? We have Bruce Brown, who's still on this team, was on the sidelines watching this one. He got a Denver Nuggets tattoo, which is interesting, on his left shoulder, but he was out there supporting the Toronto Raptors squad. But so there is a few guys, and DJ Carton and JFL, who we'll talk about as well. DJ Carton especially, who impressed me. We do have a few of these shooting guards, these wing players. So Gradey Dick's going to have to earn his spot, earn his minutes, and the fact that he has taken that step, taken that leap, coming into the Summer League is a massive positive. He looks more confident, and even if the game wasn't perfect, there were some downsides. He looked like a man amongst boys playing in this action, and looked like the Toronto Raptors' best player. So was very, very happy with what I saw from Gradey Dick. Again, the Raptors' 13th overall selection from last year, but he's not the only guy that has some Raptors fans excited in terms of their Summer League performances and what they're able to do. And first guy I got to give credit to is Brandon Carlson, who the box score is not going to indicate everything. Still a great box score, don't get me wrong. 13 points per points per game. Put 13 points in the first game, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, had 2 blocks in this one, but he just looked confident. And yes, he's an older rookie. If you're not familiar with Brandon Carlson, he is the Toronto Raptors signed on a 2-way contract, an undrafted rookie coming in this season to the Toronto Raptors. But he's a 7-footer. He spaces the floor, and yes, we knew he'd be a shooting 7-footer. We knew he'd be capable with the basketball in his hands, being confident, doing stuff out there. But my goodness, is he really confident around the basket, around the rim, just with his touch, especially at the start of this game. Again, Summer League, it's more, I don't want to say fair play, but minutes are dispersed, not evenly, but different places. So not a ton of run there for Brandon Carlson, only 23 minutes, and still able to get the 13 points. When he was out there on the court, you could feel his impact. You could feel his presence. So that's a very, very great sign to see for a Toronto Raptors 2-way guy. Again, little moves around the edges have to be done right by this Raptors group, and especially where we lost to Jonte Porter now, being banned from the NBA. Where he was a nice pickup. Brandon Carlson coming in at that 2-way spot is a nice pickup for this team. So happy to see him perform well. And then, again, other positive performances. Off the bench, we had Jonathan Mopo, who didn't take many shots. It felt like on the offensive end, just didn't get the ball in his hands too much, was thrown in the corner for a ton of those possessions. But when he did have the ball in his hands, he scored once, but I thought his passing was as advertised. People said he was a very good passer. We saw the highlights in college. He just had a good feel for the game when the ball was in his hands. I feel like the offense should be run through him a little bit more, but really, really nice on the defensive end. Rebounded well. So Mogbo looked good. I thought, he's going to have to be utilized differently in terms of what's going on there. But basically, was happy with the Mogbo performance. In terms of other guys, people were excited about Jamal Shed. 7 points, didn't have a crazy scoring outburst, only played 19 minutes in this game as well. I think DJ Carton playing really well, had a factor in doing that. But basically, Jamal Shed, we knew the defense was elite, and got 6 rebounds, as a guard, or 4 rebounds, 4 assists. I'm him up with the Baji there. But just looked like a steady guard, dealt with some foul trouble as well, but was impressed with what Jamal Shed, even if it wasn't, an outstanding, crazy performance out there for the team. And off the bench, DJ Carton is a guy that impressed the heck out of me during his stint with the Toronto Raptors last year, but unfortunately it was cut short due to an ankle injury. But when he played, he looked good. He was one of our, 2-way when we were rolling through a ton of different guys, Jamias Ramsey's of the world, Mohamedou Gay's of the world. Well, DJ Carton was the guy that impressed me the most. Even JFL. DJ Carton impressed me more than him last season, but it was on a small sample size. But he had 13 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds in 17 minutes of action, 5 of 6 from the field, knocked down a couple threes. I really, really like DJ Carton's game. And again, he's on a 2-way contract for this Raptors group, so a nice pickup. Again, the 2-way guys are looking solid there, and Brandon Carlson and DJ Carton for this team. That's keep an eye out for Carton. I think he's going to be a dude that could sneak his way to being an actual player for this Toronto Raptors team. And then, in terms of the rest, I briefly mentioned Abaji. He was solid. Again, defensive, 6 rebounds. The effort was there. Would like a little bit more on the offensive end, especially for a third-year guy out there. But the main guy that, I don't want to say disappointed, but Jakob Poeltl looked a little bit uncomfortable. Looked like the pressure was on in this game, which definitely happens to a lot of rookies that were selected. Again, he was the top selection for the Toronto Raptors in the rookie class this year. So didn't do too much on the offensive end. Missed his open threes, missed his contested threes. Went 0-6 on the 3-point line. But still, because again, for scores, they're going to have bad nights. They're going to have bad shooting nights. Even Gradey Dick missed some of his 3-point shots. I am not worried about Jakob Poeltl's ability to shoot the ball whatsoever. We've seen this guy absolutely put up numbers in college, but the concerns, for these scoring wings coming into the league, can they defend? Do they have a good feel for the game? What's going on? Yes, it felt like a nervous rookie game for him a little bit in this one, but I felt like he was still smooth. It still looked nice, looked pretty in terms of the aesthetics of his game, and defensively impressed more. Because not a lot of defensive highlights when you draft a guy and you're a fan of the team trying to get the feel from him, but I liked what he did. He's definitely a proper athlete out there in the wing, so I think he's going to slot nicely, especially when more of those shots go down for this Toronto Raptors team. So that was very nice to see. And then Erlich Chomche, who, again, is one of the more interesting guys on this Toronto Raptors group, right? Erlich Chomche is a 57th overall selection, a 2-year, 2-way contract, so was brought in to be a project, and you might look at the stats, right? You might look at the stats and say, hey, Erlich Chomche, that's a raw man right there, didn't even score a single point. Well, and he airballed a free throw too, which people that's how it goes. But honestly, again, how many shots did he take? One, and then got to the free throw line once. Didn't look as raw as I thought he might be. And again, for a jump shooter and stuff, because he's a decent three-point shooter, at least in the small sample size of stats that we saw. So I'm not worried about him missing the 2 free throws. Again, are we really going to throw a guy under the bus for missing 2 free throws? But had 9 boards in 17 minutes. 2 assists. Didn't have any blocks, but was an athletic presence out there on the court. Again, wouldn't mind if he got the ball in his hands a little bit more often. Probably doesn't have much of a post game or stuff like that there. But I like his feel for the game because as a massive fan of guys like Bebe Nogueira, centers that came into the Toronto Raptors team and were certainly raw. Rajaković didn't feel like a guy that, when people say raw, especially for big man prospects, their feel for the defensive end, their positioning wise, are they in the right spots? That's usually the stuff that, the Bruno Caboclos, the Bebe Nogueiras, that's what they struggled with coming into this Raptors team. And frankly, I tried to watch him on the defensive end. He didn't look crazy lost out there, at least from this first sample size of one game of action. So even though the buckets didn't go in, again, he's a 2-year kind of two-way deal guy. So he's a prospect for sure for this Raptors group, but he looked better than expected. And it might be weird to say, even though he had 0 points, but, that's that. So shout out to Rajaković there in that final performance. And then, again, lots of interesting storylines on this one. JFL took a lot of shots in this game, made a few, and when it went down, it was a positive there. But went 5 of 15, went 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. It felt like he was chucking a little bit, chucking the ball up. We'll see if he can get a little bit more efficient. Like DJ Carton had more points on literally basically a third of the shots. So that's something to take a look at. But again, I get these guys all taking their shots, and I'm not too worried about shooting percentages and stuff. In Summer League, it's more eye test and feel. But the last guy I do want to bring up, I do want to address, I do think should be discussed, is Battle, man. That dude's jumper looks silky smooth. Not a guy I was super familiar with coming into this Raptors team, but holy smokes, he was hoisting up some threes, hoisting up some tough shots, getting some little floaters. Had 12 points in this one. Not much else, in terms of filling up the box score, but in 15 minutes, 12 points, was knocking down some shots. So again, we can't overreact or underreact or overreact to extremely great shooting performances. Again, one game of Summer League, and we're not going to overreact to bad shooting performances. The 0-6 from Jakob Poeltl out there, but I do want to give credit that Battle did impress me with this smoothness and confidence. In these games where their livelihoods are on the line in terms. That might be a bit extreme, but their NBA careers might be on the line, how they've impressed and stuff. Nice to see Battle playing well. But let me know what you guys think about all this Toronto Raptors Summer League action. They play again tonight at 11 Eastern, or 11 Eastern? I don't know. 11 Newfoundland time. I don't know what time it actually is. Late on East Coast time, so that's how it goes. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about everything that's going on. You guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.